Hello there, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pert Near Outdoors podcast. I am Billy, I guess I'm faithless and fearful and fearless. Does that sound about right? Leader. Those are some adjectives for you. I'm here today to introduce this podcast. This is going to be a live or a podcast that we recorded not live, but we recorded it at deer camp in Pennsylvania. We recorded it Friday night, so it been last Friday night, late in the evening. Just to kind of paint the scene for you, we were we had two houses down there. So the house with all the youngsters was the house that I was in, and we had a long ass day. We had a long couple days. Thursday was a long day, getting up, we get up early in the morning, leave here. I think I left my house at about 3:30. It was 4:00. I left my house. I had to grab my buddy Mike in Wellsville, and then he had not purchased his license yet, so we had to go to a store that's open early in the morning where he could get his hunting license, so he could be up and meeting everybody at the trailhead at 6:30. So we did that. So it was a heck of a long day on Thursday. I shot my buck. I think I'll hold the story of that until I think I'll post this episode probably Thursday, and then we'll be doing our weekly live show on Bullhorn on Wednesday night, and I'll probably tell that story with Jimbo and a few of the other guys. We'll talk about my actual hunt, but Thursday was a long day. I shot my buck in the morning, carried him around all afternoon as I was one of the pushers, pushing and doing our drive back towards where we were going to finish the day. So I left the truck at bright and early, and didn't get back to the truck until 4:30, 4:45, and was pretty tired. But then we went back to camp, celebrated quite a bit, had a good time, and then Friday, which is the day, Friday night that we record this show, we had a humdinger of a day on Friday. We hunted a completely new area. We covered a ton of ground. It was a pretty incredible when I actually looked at my track on onX. I think I did 12.1 miles. I think I had a little over 2,000 feet gain and a little over 2,000 feet loss. It was a pretty incredible day. I was doing a lot of side hilling, a bunch of up and down. So I felt I was feeling it in my legs, and so was everyone else. I think I walked the most, but I don't think there was a few guys that were right behind me as far as the volume of miles they covered, and it was pretty impressive. So by the time we got back to camp and we went over and had dinner with the guys at the other camp on Friday night, we were freaking whooped. We felt good because we shot 2 bucks that day, but we were all completely exhausted, and knowing that we had another one more big day of hunting left on Saturday. So that's kind of to paint the scene. Majority of the time on the microphone was myself and Danny. We got Jim DiAgostino on for a bit. We had Trigger on. Brad Lindsay was on with us. Brad shot a buck on Friday, so we'll hear a little bit of his story with that. And I thought he made some great points. Brad, haven't had him on here too much on the podcast, but he's quietly a pretty damn successful deer hunter, and finds himself consistently in front of big bucks, and really value some of the insight that he shares. And he's not super talkative, but when he talks, it's something worth listening to. So really enjoyed getting everybody involved, and had some fun banter back and forth in the background as well. And I felt like when we recorded this that it was kind of a flat episode, but then I listened back to it and I was like, well, there's actually some pretty good information in here, and I think some people will get some good insight out of it. So I look forward to having you listen to this, and I hope you enjoy the discussion. I cannot say enough about doing these camps. It's just so much fun. I was talking with different conversations with the guys throughout the weekend, and it's just my favorite type of hunting. This year's been a grind. It's been tough. Deer have been not moving the way they normally do. The rut was kind of lackluster. Archery did not really present me with any opportunity. And since gun season started, it's been fruitful, and it's just my game. And I love hunting with a gun. I love getting on the ground and still hunting and stalking stuff and trying to find deer in their beds. It's just my cup of tea. I try really hard to want to be, one of these purist bow hunters, and it's just not what I do. And it's funny because I think back, and that's, really the culture I grew up in. I mean, Dad's always been an archery hunter, still to this day is an archery hunter, but, really produces with the gun in his hand. And it's not like, everything's not a deer drive. It's, doing still hunts, and it's a skill and an activity that I just dream about. And I love getting up on the side hills and, learning up at camp in Naples, on, smaller pieces of property, how to use the terrain and stalk around and try to find deer. And it's so much fun going down to Pennsylvania. The amount of ground is just, it's mind boggling. We drove around quite a bit in the daylight this year, in some new areas, and it's just breathtaking. And, I can't get enough of it. So I'm tagged out, so there's no me going back down there, but I cannot wait till next year to get down there and run some of these ridges and participate in some of these big group deer drives like we did, because it is just so much fun to hunt with a gang and get out there and work together to try to put deer in front of somebody and make some memories. So can't say enough good about that. If you ever have the opportunity, I think we'll do some discussions about the deer camp, especially with Dallas, in talking about the planning and the coordinating that goes into it. It is no easy task to take anywhere from, even if it's 10 guys, but you take, 15, 16, even 19 guys like we had the last day, to take that many people and look at a map and say, okay, you go here, you walk here, you walk there, to have it all come together and to have almost on every drive have encounters with bucks, whether you are a pusher or a sitter. It's just incredible. But there's a lot that goes into it, and I don't know if it seems overwhelming to people, but anybody can do this, and anybody can rent an Airbnb and get a few buddies together, even if it's only 2, 3, 4 of you, and you can go down and start your own tradition and have your own deer camp. It's just not that hard, for the amount of money we spent. It was $140 a guy for the whole weekend for the houses, and everybody takes care of their own food and just show up and bring your gun and let's hunt. And it's just the freaking best. So hope you enjoy. We'll be talking more about it in the future, as I've said multiple times here. But yeah, that's good there. And I don't know. I often have thoughts and things I want to say, but not really in the mood right now to dive into them. I was yesterday. I was all fired up. I will say that I did listen to the podcast with Ted Nugent and Joe Rogan, and the more, it's funny because with Ted, you have this idea of who he is and the persona. He's kind of this wild man, rebellious type. And, but the more, these long form discussions with him, they just give you he's just incredible. And I listened to the Deer Hunter podcast on my way home from PA. He was talking about that podcast with Rogan and Ted Nugent, and I listened to it yesterday, and that's one of the things that had me all fired up. I mean, there's a lot going on in the country, and there's a lot of things, and then but the simplicity of our lives, and all of us that enjoy hunting, and there's almost always family and respect and tradition and all of those things included in hunting, and just hearing Ted talk about some of those things, and talking about music and Fred Bear and all that. I mean, it got me pretty emotional in a couple of those situations, especially him talking about Fred Bear and his influences. And it makes me think about my dad and my uncles and my grandfather, and even now with Dallas and Brian and Bob being so, I hunt so much with them that these people, they mean the world to me, and I think we need more of that in this world, is people, whether it's hunting or if it's whatever your hobby or your passion, or if it's just family, live it up and appreciate the people around you, and forget about what this person thinks about this or that, because in the end, our lives are short, and if you don't have something that you're passionate about, I feel bad for you, because life is freaking awesome when you can get out there and you can do cool things with cool people and make those relationships. And it's just, life's better that way. So, that's a lot of what I take away from those conversations with Uncle Ted, is that he lives life freaking wide open, and nobody's going to tell him he can't. And I respect the hell out of that. And I think as I get older, I start to respect that even more, because, I don't want somebody telling me how to live my life. And I respect opinions, and I try to be very, very cognizant and open-minded. And I think I am all of those things. But in the end, don't tell me what I'm going to do, because I'm the only boss of myself. And that was like one of the number one things that Ted said was, there is nobody who's the boss of me. And that's the reality. My wife's my boss, and if she's happy, I'm happy, and the rest of the things in life will just come together. So take a listen to that if you've not already. Rogan has had some just freaking banger episodes over the last month or two, just hammering on some incredible topics and some great perspectives from very intelligent individuals. And I am enjoying listening to that stuff as much as I can. So hope you enjoy this podcast. This enough rambling from me. I always make sure you get a few minutes of that just to help you through your week. But really looking forward to wrapping up deer season here and looking into the holidays, and hopefully getting this holiday hunt in and shooting a few more deer. And then it's time to process some meat and then get out in the woods and start working the land for deer hunting next year. So that's what's happening. I hope you all have a good rest of your week, and good luck this weekend if you get out. I hope you shoot the big one, and you know what I'm going to say. Keep feeding them. Oh, one last thing I got to do a plug. If you guys doing any shopping for Christmas, if you got a hunter in your life, or you want to do some shopping for yourself, or find some things that you want to give somebody a little wish list, check out, if it's anything tree stand related, tell your honey that you want her to go to the Huntworks and get you, a nice tree stand, a nice Millennium tree stand. I might have to ask Sarah that. She asked me the other day what I wanted. Maybe I want one of those sweet M50s or M60s like Big Jim's got, that he, seems to be able to miss a lot of deer out of. And then perhaps you might want to check out some of the links in our bio. Cabela's and Camel Fire seem to be the most popular, but there's several in there. If there's anything you're looking for the holidays, if you just simply click on the link in our bio, it will you'll be shopping and connected to us, and anything you purchase will give us a little bit of a commission, which helps pay for the podcast and the monthly subscriptions I have to make sure we can post stuff up online and have it available for you and your listening pleasure. So that's all I got. That's my shameless plug. Now I'll do it again. Feed 'em.
Microphone?
Yeah. Microphone's in my mouth.
You got one for like the room?
Huh? No, I don't have one for the room. We'll pass the headsets around.
Sure.
Yeah. Is it in there? Put it in your mouth. Say something.
Cup the balls.
Why is everybody so awkward? Everyone's quiet now.
I can get enough Yinglings.
No?
Yinglings.
We can change that pretty quick. It's like 240 degrees here next to the fire, so.
Yeah, I might have to move.
It's
It's not out. She's ripping. Look in the back.
I trust Trigger. If Trigger says it's hot, it's hot.
It's hot.
It's almost 10 o'clock. Just finished day 2. It was a long day. Today was a long day. It was a good day. Bradley whacked one. Made him do a backflip.
Mm-hmm.
So we got on the mics, we got Brad, Brian, Trigger, and Danny Boy and myself. And then we got some spectators. We're doing a live podcast here with a live crowd. So I expect a lot of happiness from the crowd. So how did they go? Trigger? I mean, Brad shot a buck. But where should we start the day? Yesterday was a good day. We didn't do a podcast yesterday. I shot a buck first thing in the morning. I'm a pretty good hunter. Mm-hmm. I shot him right in his bed. He didn't even get up.
Pretty good mountain buck hunter.
Mountain buck. I mean,
specify.
I came hunting with my friends, but I just needed to be by myself. I saw him. I knew where he was going to be. I went to my point. He was right there. I shot him. It wasn't that hard. So then we fast forward to today. Yesterday was a great day, but it wasn't as good as today because today we got $2. So we started out, and it was a massive drive. We had what did we have, 16 guys today? 16 guys, and we were coming in from 2 different directions.
2?
3, well, more than that. 4 different directions, and there's one main ridge through this whole area. We were working everything up to the sitters on top of the ridges. And I don't think everything went exactly as we planned, but we put $2 in the ground. So it's pretty good. So Brad, you were one of the sitters. So you guys, from what I understand, there was a little bit of confusion getting up there as far as where everybody was going to be. You guys had a hell of a hike up the hill to get up to where you were supposed to be, right?
Yeah, so I came up the ridge. Well, I thought I was going to come up to a ridge to a flat spot. I went up where I thought it would be easy, and then I was just going to cut across it. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I went to the left of all this clear cut that you couldn't even walk through, and it ended up taking me way around. And then, so if I would have went right, I would have been fine, but so somehow Dallas, he got dropped way farther down the road, but he ended up walking right through where I walked, which I'm like, well, if you were going to walk that far, why didn't you just come up where I did? So I guess nobody can be really mad. But
who was driving that truck?
But you don't know what's clear cut and not either on a map.
Right.
We're looking at a topo map.
Looking at the topo map, which I kind of knew better.
Because of all the flat spots they clear
Because the
cut.
flat spot up top, I didn't think I was going to be able to walk through. I just really screwed up going left instead of right. Because if I would have went right, it would have took me right to where I needed to be, and I wouldn't have been so sweaty. So, yeah, I would have.
Because you were dressed to sit, not walk a long ways.
No, because when I got out of the truck, I was looking at a straight up climb. So I was dressed light, but it was super windy, and I was trying to figure out where the heck I was going. And then also, too, I was looking at Onyx, and I was also looking at my Rhino. If you ever notice, they're a little different.
They are different.
And when you're up there and you're trying to figure out where you're going, I don't know, once you start getting a little bit out of balance of where you are, your mind just starts you almost become your worst enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
fuck yeah.
yeah, you start watching one thing, then you're looking at another, and
Especially if you're not moving much and you can't see what direction you're going.
right.
But that's why up here, I run my tracker. If I'm in the woods, I'm running my tracker.
So I
on the
started
app.
running my tracker after I got in trouble, and it definitely is a big help.
Yeah,
for sure.
because you can see where you were,
Yeah.
You need to run the compass too. When I'm confused, I have to look at the map and my compass and actually decide for myself. But if you run the tracker, you can just look at which way you've been going. So
You don't ever want to forget how to run a compass, though, because at the end of today, there was 8 missing people. My phone was on 12.
But yeah, you were all alone. That's right.
It was on 12%. My Rhino was good, but if I had to go back in or whatever, I seriously thought I was gonna be looking for people pretty soon.
Yeah.
But
So I want to go back to a key point there. I think you said so. Dallas got dropped off too far down the road. So who was driving that truck?
well, there was a bunch of different trucks.
Whose truck? Answer the question.
It was Jim's.
Just
Okay.
trying to get a gym, aren't you?
But Dallas.
So I think one of the key things that happened today is I think Jim's a burden. In the woods, he's I'm learning. Yesterday he did good because he didn't have to do anything. He just sat there. But today, I don't know. But anyway, we'll circle around to that. That's later on. So you ended up getting to your spot, and I was coming around the ridge, and there was a big bowl to come around. And I thought Dallas was going to be where you were. Maybe that's because when Dallas had updated the last time I had seen him on the radio was about where you were set up. But I was coming around, and man, it was so much deer sign. And AJ had seen a bunch of deer that were between the two of us on the side hill, and we were wrapping around this bowl. And I'm like, man, there's something's got to happen. It was too quiet. How is there no gunshots? And I was, when you shot, it did not seem like it was as close as it was, but you were directly across from me. I was really surprised that the deer didn't come like across or around the bowl from me to you. You said it actually came like back almost up from where the drive was that we were heading into. Like it
was
must somebody
going-
AJ. I think AJ must have bumped it. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it was literally going to meet up with you.
So it was wrapping around that bowl.
Yeah. So
So what happened? You could have, yeah. Jim Vogel. Jim was further down the ridge, yeah. Dallas, yeah. No, Jim was at the top.
That's about how the day went.
Buck was on the bottom. Yeah, he very well could have been. Maybe he caught scent or something. Who knows? But there was, like AJ was down further closer to the bottom, and we were just, we got all these like weird like deep bowls, and we were just wrapping around him. Who knows where he came from? But he came from that direction, kind of back into where I was coming from, and he came right. He was, from what sounds of it, he came like was coming right across the clear cut right below you, right?
yeah, there was a clear cut. So this trip, this is my 4th year up here, and this trip I think I've been the worst at moving after I've sat. And I don't know why I'm so bad this year. I got turned around a couple times, and I just seem like I have, I'm just restless. Like I find a spot, I don't really like it, and I keep moving, and I think that hurts a lot of people. But on the other hand, maybe I'm dwelling on, like hunting is a lot of luck, but like I try to really figure out where the deer are going to come up. And, when I finally got to that bowl where you saw me, I had a really good shot up the other side, and which you don't want to overdwell on, like having a
Shooting
long shot.
distance, yeah.
Yeah, shooting distance. You want to funnel points is what you want, I think. So, but I got there, and I really thought that bowl was a funnel point, because the way you guys were coming in, I just felt like the deer don't like to break to the top unless they're absolutely last choice. Like that 10-pointer that I shot a couple years ago, that deer, you would just watch those deer. They don't want to do it.
They're thinking about it.
They don't want to do it. He did it, and he was looking to go back in as soon as
But he
was
knew the
out.
drive was coming up through, and he knew he had to get out of there.
Yeah, they just don't like that flat, open, out of the bowl kind of thing. So I finally found that spot, and I'm like, man, that clear cut and that logging road, I could just, I could see something coming through here. So that's why I sat there after analyzing way too much, which I did for sure. But sure as shit, I sat there on my backpack next to a tree, and all of a sudden I see horns, and I just see the head of this deer. I'm like, holy smokes, it worked. And I'm trying to see if he's got 3 on his side, and then I don't think he's that great, so I wasn't going to shoot him. And then I'm like, well, I'm trying to adjust to Pennsylvania, and you know what I mean? Like, you got to drop your standards a little bit down here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, Pennsylvania's bucks just aren't as big as the ones we have in New York.
So I decided, like, I'm definitely going to shoot it. There's no way I'm going to get another crack at a buck like this, and it looks good and everything. And still, like, I'm looking at it, but I'm not sure that it's 3, and just like your mind's racing.
Was
when
he
you see it.
profile the whole time, or did he ever turn towards you?
He never turned towards me.
Yeah. Because that's like, he's wide. Like, it's a nice wide buck.
Yeah, if he would have turned towards me, I would have dumped him for sure.
Yeah.
But so I could only see his head, and then he was in new growth in a clear cut. So I shot at him, and he ran 25 yards directly in front of me now and stopped and looked straight up the hill at me. And I'm like, I guess I missed. So obviously I had another round in there already, and I just smoked him, and the deer just did a complete backflip and landed underneath a log with his head backwards facing his ass and broke the G2 off the, left side, right side?
Right side, yeah. So do you like, reflecting back on it, I know it all happened so fast, but you feel like that point was on there when you went to shoot him?
Yeah, I really think the point broke off when he hit the log, especially because
Which I believe, but it's crazy you didn't see it, whether maybe it snapped off and went in the dirt or...
I mean, all those beech leaves there and everything, you just weren't going to find it.
It could have gone 30 yards.
Right.
Too.
It's
Right.
a
Just
horn.
could have
so much-
exploded off of there.
So that's the first time I've ever had a deer do a backflip or any kind of flip. Trigger's always telling me his deer did a backflip and landed in a crotch of a tree, and I'm like, when I shoot my deer, they fall over.
I've witnessed him. I watched him shoot that doe in Letchworth, and that thing flipped. It literally flipped completely upside down and landed on its back, legs straight up in the air.
There was
Didn't-
a foot of snow.
didn't
All you
move.
could see was 4 legs.
Yeah,
sticking out.
no kick, no nothing.
I've never seen that.
You shot twice in a matter of like 30 seconds, it seemed like. First shot you missed, second shot, thing flipped over
Probably
backwards.
15,
Yeah.
10.
Were you the one that shot the one that jumped into the ravine in Letchworth too?
No,
Yeah.
that was Jim.
Oh, that was Jim.
I tried shooting it for Jim before it made the ravine, and I must have missed. The thing was flying.
So you've been, this is your 4th year?
Yeah.
So you shot $3 in 4 years.
Yeah, an 8.
So last year you didn't get one.
Right.
So last year you and I didn't get one. So in the last 4 years, me and you have shot $6.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got
It's pretty awesome.
an 8, a 10, and
We're
a 7.
me and you we're pretty good hunters. Jim, how's your Instagram feed over there? You fucking paying attention to this podcast or what? Oh yeah. Pennsylvania's got shit for bucks down here too, by the way. Your time's coming, Jim. We're gonna get you on here. You're gonna try to explain yourself. OnlyFans? Starting your account for Brock, are you? Trigger, anything else on yours? It was awesome. It was great to be that close. I didn't realize I was going to be like right there. You shot and I was right. There was like some big trees and I just got behind the tree and I'm like peeking, like looking for something to come run. You shot again. And when I was like right there. I mean, I was probably 300 yards away, 250, 300 yards. So it was cool to be able to come right over and see where the magic happened. But that was really actually pretty early in the day. Like that was what, 9:30?
I don't even know if it was that late.
It was early. Like there was a lot of hiking left to do. So
I was impressed today with that 7mm 08 with those.
is that what you shot it with?
Yeah, the ballistic tips. That thing. I mean, the second round made good contact and just dumped it. It was done. But it's all about the round you shoot. The copper tips, like I think you shoot, I'm not a fan of. But those ballistic tips, if you have a ballistic tip in a 708 like that, it just stops. It expands like you wouldn't
Did you
believe.
find the bullet? Was the bullet in him? Was there an exit wound?
There was an exit wound.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it wasn't lodged in the next shoulder. I think I hit him twice. Definitely hit him once.
Right in the same area.
Like right in the same area.
Yeah.
What's the actual round that you're shooting?
It's a 139 grain 7mm 08
What bullet is
brand,
it?
Yeah, what
The
brand or
Hornady. But Hornady makes a whitetail,
Yeah, it's an
Which-
SST.
but I shoot the SSTs. But they also make the
Okay.
whitetail, and the whitetail doesn't expand
Mine,
unless you
mine's
hit it. If you dump it in a shoulder, it's gonna do it.
I'm
it's gonna
shooting
do
the
it.
SSTs and mine expanded. The one I shot my doe with,
So
If
you
you're shooting
have
a red tip,
a red tip.
it's not a red tip.
then it's not an SST.
Really? Maybe okay. Maybe. Oh, I'm shooting the American whitetail. So that's what you're talking about.
I don't like them.
No,
Not unless you definitely hit him in the shoulder.
American whitetail. I love that. I mean, I haven't had him fail me. I thought I did the other day, but that was because my gun was off.
If you have a
And-
vital pass-through shot with one of those Corlock or the whitetail,
They just don't bleed much. Or
it doesn't bleed much. It's definitely gonna kill it, but
But even if you don't
I've
like,
got
even
I
look
get
at
terrible blood trails with my.
But even
with
like
those
like
whitetails.
Crispy's
Yeah.
buck today. I mean, granted, he fucking throttled him in the shoulder, broke the shoulder, bullet, it quartered it, and the deer was quartering 2, I'm guessing, and it went in the shoulder, the on shoulder, and it was the bullet was like right on the edge of the skin. So like when we pulled the hide back, the bullet was right there.
Yeah.
But like that, there was 0 blood. You know, it's like a lot of times you just like with a rifle, you like like if you have to blood trail these things, it's like where the hell there's no blood to go by. Like if that deer ran 60 yards, it would have been tough to follow. Other than
especially if you don't know you hit it.
right,
That's
yeah.
the worst part.
If you don't go after it right away or whatever, and
Well, when you shoot, if you don't know you hit it, and then you can't find where you shot at it,
they need like it's the tips like the SSTs or whatever. But I mean that buck I shot yesterday, that bullet must have never really expanded. I hit him in the neck, and the exit wound was just about the same size. The bullet just zipped right through, but it snapped his neck. But, there was zero. I didn't have to blood trail him. He was dead very late.
But if you wouldn't have snapped his neck,
Well, that shot, I was either going to kill him or I wasn't going to hit him at all. Because if I hit him in the neck anywhere,
If you hit the meat,
That's what I was just gonna say. Is the meat enough to just
It is.
Just
with
still
that much
snap it.
energy,
Paralyze him,
yeah,
right?
he would have been effed up. So, yeah, it's a good point, Brad. Yeah, I think that's having the right bullet for your gun definitely makes a big difference. And if you hit them right with the rifle, they're not going anywhere.
I went away from the ballistic tips. The reason why I went to those whitetail rounds, the copper tip rounds, is because I thought they were better for brush.
Yeah.
Because I got screwed once on shooting through some brush, which no matter what it is, you're not shooting through brush.
You mean lead or copper?
Or the lead, yeah, the lead tipped.
Yeah.
So I went, I started shooting the lead tips, and then I had really piss poor blood trails and everything. So
Yeah.
I gotta try that.
Those tips?
Yeah,
you'll
Just the
you'll
tip.
like them.
if I'll ever be able to find
If
them.
you can find them, yeah. We'll go around the microphone table here. How was your day, Trigger?
Today was all right. I mean, you could walk at least.
Yeah.
Yesterday was pretty poor.
It was slippery
Other
yesterday.
than you shooting a buck was great, but
Yeah.
it was miserable.
It was yesterday.
It was a miserable walk.
Where did you go yesterday? You guys were walkers
We
in the
started,
morning.
Yeah, above
You
Super
dropped
Bowl,
down.
and then back up the other side hilled, and then back down, and then did Super Bowl. And then
Yeah,
went up.
yeah.
There was not one step I took that I didn't slip.
Why do you have so many issues with that?
The 2 or 3 inches of wet snow that was melting.
We were all walking in it.
Nobody else was slipping.
I went to 2 trekking poles.
Yeah,
I
yesterday.
did just about the whole thing in 2 trekking poles.
My
Were you
left-
running trekking poles or no?
One at sometimes, 2. I had to put my gun in my pack at one point because
It was
there
that
no
slippery,
way.
yeah.
Well, when it was really steep, every step you went down like 2 feet.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I
But
tuned
by
up
by the time that I got, and I'm being a smart ass, because by the time I got to the point where I was actually walking the side hills and then coming back up, a lot of the snow had melted.
Yeah.
So like you could pick your footing and you knew what you were stepping on, but like, fuck, there's nothing worse than when you're trying to walk those side hills and all it is rock underneath those leaves, and you can't see the rock because of all the leaves, and you don't. And then you put an inch or two of wet snow on top of it. You can't tell what the hell you're walking on.
Or you put your foot on one of those sticks that's aimed right downhill. It's just a fucking dead.
It's right underneath the leaves.
Yeah. Or one of those today there was several times I was walking through because I was trying to make noise while I'm. So I would if there was a stick across, I would just stomp on it.
I could hear
I
you.
had several sticks that I stomped on and came up and tickled the jubblies. It's like, oh! I would have loved to have. I made a lot of noise on that last drive.
You were cracking.
I was coming through that clear cut and I was pissed off because Jim was fucking lost and I didn't know where my friend was. And
We could hear you.
yeah.
It was good.
And I didn't want to get eaten by a bear because I had no weapon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think we already bumped all the deer out of there coming down.
Yeah. There was definitely running deer tracks from when I think you guys came down into your spots.
Yeah, we kicked deer down in.
That is the coolest fucking clear cut I think I've been through. That is a sweet ass spot.
Yeah. You like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was that clear cut was so thick I couldn't do nothing with it. That was the problem though. The clear cut on the other side where Crispy shot his buck, that I got into that clear cut and there was 2 times where I could distinctly smell a buck, like a rutting buck. And so I must have been pretty close to him. But that clear cut was maybe, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years old. So a lot of the rose bushes and shit weren't in there. It was all just kind of growing up, and you could navigate through it no problem. And there was so much deer sign in there. The last 2 days, I don't know if I've ever seen so much deer sign, but seen so few deer. I haven't seen. I saw the deer I shot, 2 does yesterday, and I saw 3 does today, and that's it. But there's some of the most deer sign I've ever seen down here. I don't know. Would you agree? Are you guys seeing the same, a lot of deer
Yes
sign?
and
Or?
no. Yeah, you run into an area where there just is
Yeah.
tracks and shit everywhere, and then and then you go 6 hours without really seeing much.
Well, I think that's what's going on this year too. Is that there's no mass crop from the appearance.
I think
Yesterday there was a
small
lot of beech nuts. I saw a ton of beech nuts yesterday, and they appeared to be eating beech nuts. But today I saw no beech nuts. I saw no acorns.
Yeah, we saw a few acorns, but I'm not even sure. We saw a lot of tops.
Yeah.
So are we seeing tops from last year? I mean, it should be leaves. I don't know. I just wonder how many tops you're going to see, like if there was no crop this year.
Yeah. I feel like that you would. We've been down here in years where there's so many acorns that you can tell that it's a good acorn year.
Right. It's not a good acorn year. We
No.
know that. But so we found some big oaks today that had, you could easily see all the tops.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing them were one of the few that actually produced, so they just hammered them.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
You're probably right.
But
I got to a few oak flats where it was just all oak leaves everywhere, and not a single fucking acorn.
No.
So it was like that whole hillside I walked up the first drive was bare. The whole from the start to finish was
Yeah.
not a lot of
Yep.
deer sign.
Yeah, I mean, I've done 20 miles in the last 2 days, and I haven't seen acorns. And I've been walking ridges like. So the food source is definitely no doubt the majority of the deer sign is around clear cuts.
Yeah.
That's where the deer sign is right now, and that's where we shot the 2 bucks
Right.
today, and you
so
know,
they're browsing.
yeah, and that's where the deer I saw yesterday were right on the edge. We're on the edge of hardwoods and clear cut.
So do you think bear browse?
I don't. Well, not browse to like the way that deer browse, but I think they eat. They probably dig a little bit for stuff and
Yeah, they
and
definitely
eat
dig.
bugs and
Because the bear shit I saw today had little like spikes that looked like buds off the end of trees.
Huh.
But I don't really think they do that.
I don't think they browse. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, what is with all the bear? We've all saw bear.
I think every year we see more. I've never seen one, but
I
there-
don't know. I mean, this
Last
year
year-
is abnormally just.
So have you guys
Outrageous.
seen bears?
Yeah.
You got one or
Yeah, just.
you know Chris saw a giant today.
Mhm.
He said he figures like a 500 pounder. Said his head was like
Yeah, we saw one yesterday, and then. I mean, the tracks are everywhere.
yeah in the snow. There was a lot of tracks yesterday. Yeah, up on the top above Super Bowl, there was a set of
Everywhere.
tracks that are going up and then a set going down.
so when I went to grab my meat that Chris hung up for me at their place, I'm looking around their yard. I can't see it. And then I finally look out, and he hung it in, like, the woods, the brush, like, next to their house.
Well, he didn't want the bear to go in
Next to the
Clayton's
bear
truck.
bait bin. Yeah.
So
Chris was worried that the bear was going to go into Clayton's truck and scratch it
well,
when they
he,
were getting the meat.
he put the meat in pretty much where the bear could get it. So I'm trying to get it my meat out of the tree, and I'm, like, looking over my
In the
shoulder.
dark? Yeah.
Yeah. Felt like there was a bear already watching that.
Yeah. Bears love backstrap too
Mm.
and inner loins.
So I had the first 8-point that I shot here the first year, a fox grabbed it off some pallets at my house. That's why I was asking you about your horns.
Yeah.
A fox grabbed it and took it like 50, 60 yards away.
No shit.
Yeah, I had to track the fox, and then I found my horns. So,
Take care of that with your 7mm 08.
yeah.
Mm. So Molly's here with you, Brian. It's very special.
Oh, very.
Cheers to Molly. First woman ever in PA deer camp. And like it's like you're not even here. You're just like one of the guys. It's like
Second honeymoon.
it's not too much estrogen. Yeah, how's that honeymoon suite? Pretty good? Or should we not talk about
It's
it?
probably why they weren't moving too quick today.
I know Brian's
Little
hips
stopped.
Brian's hips were a little
I was bedded down.
you were bedded down.
I didn't want to get up.
Yep, you were tending.
I don't think it was that.
Jim and I talk about that frequently. Sometimes you just got to hang near the bedding area because you just never know.
I'm thinking I didn't want to get out of the bedding area because of the last nightcap. The last nightcap.
That's the one.
Not the first nightcap. Probably not the
Did
second
we all go to
nightcap.
bed at the same time last night? We had a good time
I
last
don't
night.
know.
Yeah,
We all went to bed later than we probably should.
yeah. I don't think I brushed my teeth because I woke up this morning and things were kind of. Were you guys' mouths dry last night?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit!
Whose mouth wasn't
Mike's-
dry with
Mike's-
this fucking
We should-
350-degree
we should-
fireplace over here.
We should get a big pot of water and put a big pot of water on there. That's what we do at camp. It works good.
Mike should have been really.
There's a
thirsty
kettle.
'cause he was
We should put
snoring.
We
water
should
in
probably
there.
put some water in there.
Yeah, because we're up in that like freaking, and then so I turned off our electric baseboard heat up there. I turned it off because fuck, it was hot up there last night. I woke up and I'm like, did we? I'm scared of the dark, so I sleep in the night with
Well, we
the
left
lights on.
all day,
Poor
too.
fucking Jim's down here.
Jim, why don't you get over here on the microphone? We need to discuss.
Fire's
here.
raging. It's 110 degrees in the living
Come
room.
here,
He's
sit
on
in
the
the hot
couch.
seat.
They leave the fucking lights on.
Here. All right. Do you want to hear me bitch about my day? And
I
then
do
I'll
wanna
give
hear-
the-
yeah, I
and then
wanna
I'll
hear you
give
bitch.
The shit to
Yeah.
Jim here.
Well, this is
I mean, it was a
I-
good day. It was a little frustrating at like what was it, like 10 to 12. Me and Molly had been sitting since 8:30 in like the sweetest looking spot, and Brother Dallas has got all his fucking X's and arrows and and what everybody's gonna do, and it's awesome. Me and Molly get up there. I mean, it is fucking sweet. We sit there all goddamn day, and I hate sitting. I'm just itching.
well,
Get
you
out of
just
there.
you want to stretch your legs here.
I want to get out. I want to spread my wings, you know. So I'm just waiting to hear Robert shoot a buck on the way to pushing me one.
Right.
Just I cannot wait. I mean, anticipation is high. I had the gun like pointed to that spot for hours. 8:30 to almost noon, and finally I'm pinging Robert. He's a 9/10 of a mile away for hours. Finally, I ping him. I go, he's closer, 0.78 miles. Then I ping him again. He's 9/10 again. I'm like, what the fuck? Finally, I get a hold of him, and we're talking. And I go, so you're coming to me, right? And nothing. No more radio correspondence, right? 20 minutes later, we catch him on the radio again. And I'm like, you're coming to me, right? And he goes, yeah, we're down at the bottom. We're almost back to the truck. I'm like, why are you down there? He goes, well, we're done. Done doing what? I thought you were going to push to me. He goes, well, I thought we were going to meet. I said, well, you know, if we were going to meet, you probably should
We would have done it when you were up here.
You
Yeah.
should have looked for
when
me.
we were 7/10. Yeah.
And he said, well, I didn't see you on the radio, so I thought maybe you didn't go where you were supposed to. So that was my morning. It was a little disappointing because it was a really nice spot. But
And meanwhile, at this point, Crispy had shot his buck. Did
Brad
you
had
know that?
shot
Did you
his.
know that Chris had shot a buck?
yep, and I knew Brad shot one because I got a picture. But I also thought AJ shot one. I thought we were rocking them. I thought we had 3 bucks. And then when I found out we had 2 bucks, and then Dallas is telling me to meet him on the road, you know, so it was just a with so many people there, it's just so hard to communicate.
And when were that spread out? Like we were covering probably 15 square miles today.
Oh, I can't imagine how many acres we were covering.
We were covering a lot of ground today.
Like when you said we came in from 2 or 3 different directions.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a 10-mile long block.
It took us, 15, 20 minutes to drive from where we all met tonight back to where Brad's truck was?
Yeah.
Like via
Maybe
road?
longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we're up there at the lunch spot, and Dallas is calling you from your axe from where we started, and I don't think he realized how far away you are.
He's
And
like,
I'm
just
like,
come on
I'm
over
like,
here.
Well, he
Yeah,
drew
he's
the
like,
map
just
after
come-
he drank a half a bottle
Just
of
come on
vodka.
up here.
so-
I go, Dallas. I'm like, you realize he's probably 2 miles away from us right
Yeah.
now, right?
I go,
Like,
okay, see you in an hour. I hope you want me there because if not, I could go back to the truck and I could move it around to wherever you need me.
Yeah, we were down processing Crispy's buck, and we're hearing the dialogue back and forth, and we're just like, this is great. Like, this is what you hope to hear between Brian and Dallas. Is this like,
Yeah, just come on up here. You know where I am? No. Are you where you're supposed to be? Yep.
yeah, I have been all day, just like I was supposed to be.
When I met John Peterson on my way out, when I had the whole deer in my backpack, he's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go down here and we're gonna meet Dallas." I'm like, "Well, where are we gonna meet him?" You know, and he's like, "Well, they're a couple miles down here," and I'm like, "Okay, but what's the plan after that?" Because the truck's 2 miles that way, and we're gonna go a bunch of miles this way. So
That was my issue because not Dallas's fault. But like in the past, it's meet me at the top. All right, well I'm at the bottom, and you know how it is to get from the bottom to the
1,000
top
feet
around here. So it's like, all right, that's what you want, right? I'll be at the top. You get to the top, and it's like, all right, we're gonna split up. We're gonna go down to the bottom. And then
No, it gets better. Yeah, no, it gets better.
And then we're gonna push back up.
Yeah, no, it'll.
And it's like
the whole story gets better.
So every time I'm at the top or the bottom, and I'm told to go the
Can we just get some commitment?
I'm like, I want to hear it a few times. I'll do it, but I'm probably gonna be a little irritated once I get there and we disperse.
Right.
Like, just if you want somebody down here, just let me know. I'm here. So other than that, it was a good day.
So
bucks.
you and Molly met up with us, and then we all.
So we met. Yeah, we didn't meet Dallas because once I dropped 100 feet over the hill, we lost all radio communications.
Right.
And then we had to go.
You guys covered a lot of ground pretty quick because
Well, it was easy walking once we got to the bottom.
Yeah.
But I was a little unsure of where everybody was because I couldn't get anybody to update. So I'm going off of 2-hour-old icons on the rhinos and really hoping that everybody hasn't moved on, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
The radios don't have a really long range typically, but I feel like
they
this
can,
year,
but
I feel like this year they're horrible.
yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
running
it does
very
not
well.
seem good.
But other than that, like I said, it was a good day. I thought we had $3 down. We got 2.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So this is midday now. Like, we're going on 1:00.
Yeah.
You got to us. We had just finished cutting up the
Yep.
deer, and we would pack up. It was me, Crispy, AJ, Howie. Was it the 4 of us?
Yeah.
4 of us, right? Yeah, it was 4 of us. So we pack up and we headed up, and all those guys they're actively logging the top of this ridge. So we all like pack up there, and there's like, we get up there, and it was like the coolest scene. There's like 8 or 10 guys, probably 12 guys at that point up there, like just all these guys blaze orange on the hill, like this huge group of guys, and there's a fire. One of them started a fire. Was it Danny? Danny starts a fire, so there's like a fire going there. It was like awesome. But we get there, and they're like, "Has anybody seen Jim?" I'm like, "What the fuck you mean you haven't seen Jim?" Like, yeah, we haven't. Nobody can get a hold of Jim. We haven't heard from him in like hours. I'm like, this isn't good, because I was coming across. I had seen Brad. And I came across. Is it hot?
Feel that. Feel my back. Feel my back.
Oh, I know how
Feel my back.
I know how hot your back is.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that
Can't
you were
believe you
literally.
were sitting
We
on
should
that
probably move
motherfucker.
that.
Yeah.
We should probably move that
fucking
thing.
leather thing's about to burn. That
Thanks, Molly.
chair needs a.
Needs an ottoman.
It does.
So I had seen you because Brad shot his buck, and then I was staying on my drive, and I come around the ridge, and I came across, and I was about at the same level you were. So I came across, and we had a nice moment. I took a couple pictures of you sitting in your spot. You had a badass spot. And so I was expecting you to do what you were supposed to do,
Which is what I did.
which is what you did.
Yeah.
But then we all lost communication.
So typically how it works on deer drives, okay? How my experience.
So here,
Pennsylvania deer drives.
Pennsylvania deer
All
drives.
right.
Prior to this camp, right, is that when the drivers come through, the drive's over. So therefore, you have your whatever you're supposed to do after the drive's over, which in our case was to go back to the truck and eat lunch to get ready for the second drive. So that's what I did.
why are you acting defensive?
Because
What are you?
Because you've
Do you
been
need me-
writing me about this like I got lost when I did exactly what Dallas told me to do.
Do you know how I felt today?
How'd you feel?
I was emotional. I was fucking up. I was upset. I'm like, I invited this guy, and he might be dead in the middle of the woods.
I was a little upset because for
Maybe he
one,
had the
I
big
thought-
one.
I thought I wasn't going to be able to hunt the afternoon because
That's what I
I was going to
said.
spend all day looking for everyone.
Yeah, I'm like, this poor guy, he's trying to fill his buck tag, and he's probably out driving the roads trying to find us,
It all worked out. I found Dallas again. He saved the day. Everything worked itself out.
So you ultimately ended up doing what you needed to do.
Mhm.
You went back
I
to the top of the ridge.
So Dallas pushed up, and he, we had like some sort of like nonverbal communication where like I knew to move up when he moved.
Your
up.
hormones were in sync or
we were in-
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So So I pushed further north, and then I dipped over the edge and sat there for a little while. And then lunchtime came, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to head back to the truck because the pushers already came through. I made an assumption.
Yeah.
But
you had to make a decision.
I did have to make a decision at that
Because
point.
nothing was happening.
I wasn't going to sit there till dark. I mean, I could have sat there till dark, but I didn't want to do that either.
Right.
So then I went back the same way I came. I had a waypoint saved of where my truck was, and I went back to my truck, and that's all the way down the bottom.
Right.
And I was not going all the way back up for no reason.
No, you weren't.
So,
Not without a reason.
yeah,
And you didn't have one.
no. And
Yeah, is that
Yeah, they would like a
was a
reimbursement
donation.
from Pertinier Outdoors.
Yeah, it was a donation. Yeah, and so that was part of the whole dynamic of this whole day is that vehicles are literally, we said how much area we were covering. Vehicles were spread all over this entire area. So like we all were coming out and there was no vehicles anywhere. So we're up there on top of the ridge and we randomly make communication with you as we're walking our way up before we're going to drop back down. So Dallas had drawn up this second drive for the afternoon where 5 of us were going to drop all the way back down to the bottom to where you were parked and then turn around and hike all the way back up that ravine and push it back up to all the sitters. So like,
which would have been awesome had I still stayed there and knowing that's what was going
would
to
have been
happen.
perfect.
Yeah.
But so then you and I made radio contact when you drove over to Brad's truck,
Yeah. Which was in a completely different
completely other side of the valley,
Yeah.
like drainage.
Yep.
So then the last communication we had with you was that meet us, we're going to do Ash, whatever hollow it was.
Yeah.
Meet us at the bottom of Ash Hollow.
Which is where I started.
Yeah. And we get down, and you never responded. So we get down to the bottom of Ash Hollow.
And you wait there for a little for me.
Well, so I get there, and your truck's not there. And I'm like, what the shit? But I'm thinking, is he where he originally parked his truck? So I start can I have one?
I'll have one. All right. I was drinking Jack
What
and
about
Coke.
Jim's got his Jack and
I
Coke
got
right
Jack
there.
and Coke. Here, give one to Billy.
I'll take this
I'll
push.
take the Jack and Coke. You get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I got to refill that. Okay.
So I hit the road, and I'm like, he's got to be like further down the road.
Sure.
So
Anybody would have thought that.
So I send AJ, instead of having him come all the way down, I'm like, just keep some elevation. So he heads up the ridge to stay to keep some elevation. And then I have Chris and Clayton come down, and then they go and do their thing and get to their point. And I'm like, I'm going to run this road for a little while and see if I can get Jim on the radio. So I run the road probably half a mile down, and I'm like radioing like, Jim, do you hear me? Jim, do you hear me? Jim, do you hear me? Like nothing. And I'm like, what the freak? I'm like, where is this
I
guy?
had terrible radio reception down there, too.
It had nothing to do with the radio reception. You weren't where you were supposed to be.
No, that is bullshit.
So
I was exactly where I was supposed to be.
Jim.
When I was supposed to be there.
you may not know this or not, but this whole hunting trip is an audition for you to be part of the Pertinier Pro staff.
Wow.
And I don't think you have qualified. Danny,
Wow.
I have serious concerns. I don't know where you are in the woods.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
So
Hey, you know who needs an audition here is the guy that told us to go left tonight on the way out instead of going
whoa,
right.
whoa. If it wasn't for me, we would be God knows where right now.
And if
I
it wasn't
pulled
for
my
you,
maps
we
up.
wouldn't have been where God knows where.
We ended up going the
That's
opposite
all.
direction on a one-way road. Figure that out.
Yeah. We did see a shooter buck, though.
We did see a shooter buck.
So,
Giant.
long story short, I did a bunch of road walking, and then I realized that you were never coming back. And I had radioed AJ, and I said, AJ, when you get high enough, radio to the guys and have them send a text message to Jim and say, just meet us at camp tonight. Because I'm
Is
like,
that what
I
you
don't know.
said?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know where he is. Like, just send this message, and we're going to hunt.
Yeah.
So at this point, I have to walk now a mile back up the road.
So at this point, you're pissed at me already, right?
Well, I wasn't pissed. I was not pissed at you. I was mad at the situation. I felt terrible. Honestly, if I'm done being a smartass,
Yeah.
I felt really bad because you're a guest with us.
Yeah.
And this is your first time here. You don't have a rhino.
Right.
And, like, you were not aware of where everybody was.
Sure.
And, like, none of us knew what the day was going to turn. When you shoot deer, it always, like, changes the pace of the day.
Had I not run into Dallas and salvaged the afternoon, it probably would have been
You've been
a
frustrated.
little bit frustrating.
Yeah.
Because I followed the plan, but the plan changed because bucks were shot.
Right.
And you guys made some last minute decisions, which is totally fine, but we just didn't have the communication there because the radio sucked.
It's like we learned today that if somebody doesn't have a rhino, they almost need to be next to someone else.
Yeah.
Like, I feel terrible because we looked at each other last night and we're like, let's hunt together. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do it, and it didn't work out.
Let's hunt.
But if you were next to somebody that stayed with you all day, which is like, if you don't have a rhino, you need to be next to someone all day.
Onyx got me pretty far,
Yeah.
but a rhino.
If you
would have
don't
been-
know
yeah.
where everyone else is,
That's
that's
right.
that's the key.
Yep.
And the two-way radio gets you so far.
Come sit over here. Okay. Trigger's getting fired up.
Is he?
This is a jack.
gotta get him.
Okay.
Well, look at it. The hand signals are.
Yeah.
We got to get him back
Oh,
on the
boy.
boy while he's juiced.
So I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, like that last drive was good. I think we had deer moving, but we just didn't see a lot of deer. I think that the sitters bumped deer, and I think that's. I'm very excited for tomorrow because we're going to some of our like core areas that we've had success in the past. So like I hope we're covering it up really good. We've got 19 guys tomorrow, so I think we're gonna have 10 sitters and 9 walkers.
And it looks like nice, easy, quiet walks for the sitters, which I think is going to hold
Yeah,
deer.
you can get in there. Yeah, and I think that's a good point. Is that I think that's something that happens is when your sitters have to kind of get down in a little bit, and they have to go through some of the best areas.
For our morning hunt this morning, crawling up that mountain, it was crunchy as hell, and it was thick terrain. I mean, it was not ideal for getting into a sitting.
So there was when I was walking the road looking for you, the actual road. There was a really nice track running, like imprinted into the hardpack road,
There you go, and that was
coming
not there.
off of the hill, like running away from where we were. So coming, I guess, like down to the road and down to that creek in the bottom.
Yep.
So I don't know,
Yep.
but it was a long ass freaking day. So it was a successful day. $2. We got $3 in the first 2 days. Tomorrow we need to. With our best year ever down here is $6 as a group. So we want to match that. I think we can do it tomorrow, but we'll see. We will see.
We're going to tighten things up too, right? Guys aren't going to be quite as spread.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna.
that'll help. That'll help.
Yep.
We're covering tomorrow what we would do in 2 drives normally.
Yeah, we're
Doing 2 drives into 1, which would be pretty cool. And
with more people
Yep.
than we normally do.
With way more. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
double. Almost.
double the amount of people. Yeah.
hopefully we kill them.
So what do you think, Jim? What do you think of your first experience with doing this with us?
I love it. I'd love to come back after I have a rhino.
We just need to see how tomorrow goes, and then we'll discuss that. Okay.
Yeah.
You hit me with that tough question on the way back here
I
tonight
did.
about coming to
I
Harvey
went
Deer
straight
Camp. And
for the jugular. So what are the chances I can hunt Harvey Deer Camp? I went right for it. I didn't even hold back.
Billy doesn't even hunt Harvey Deer.
I
Camp
know,
anymore.
like, yeah, like that's to ask that. I mean, no, it's been a lot of fun. Like, I was talking last night with, or I think I was talking yesterday with Robert. Like, we were sitting there with the deer and with my buck, with me, him, and Dallas, and it's like, this is awesome. Like, we've got 16 guys in Molly. I'm gonna call you one of the guys. You're one of the guys this weekend. We got 16 guys, and like, it's just an incredible group of people. Like, everyone gets along. Like, there's not many places you can go where you can have, even 5 people where everybody gets along. Like, it's just a great group. So it's a lot of fun to get together and do hunts like this where you've got everybody working together. And if somebody gets one, it's like a huge victory for the whole group. Like, who cares who shoots it? It doesn't matter. Yeah. You hear a shot, it just gets you fired up.
We just got to figure out how we're going to get Peter Michael to bring a fucking sandwich with him for lunch.
We'll put it.
We get to the lunch spot today. The guy's got nothing.
He had nothing?
Nothing. We leave the truck at fucking 7 o'clock this morning, and he didn't get back to the truck till whatever.
He didn't eat nothing today?
I sat there at the lunch spot. I'm like, okay, I'm like, what can I get this guy? Like, what do I have here? Oh my god.
yeah.
I don't know. We scrounged him up some food, but I sat there on it for about.
I'm sure
a
Rob
half
had some
hour.
spares. I'm sure Rob had some spare food for him.
But this isn't the first year he's done that.
No, it's
Oh.
not.
We've scrounged up every year.
Oh, I forgot my
last
sandwich at the truck this morning. Oh,
We'll take a glump. We'll take
my
a
God.
Glumpy out tomorrow
He was
morning and stuff it in
explaining-
his pocket.
he was explaining to me the sandwich that he made, and my mouth was watering, and I had already ate my sandwich. It's like, you're making me hungry, Pete. Like,
Dude, you remember? I think it was my first year ever coming down here. It was me, you, Robert, Dallas, and Dallas and Pete, and then I think John might have been with us too. I think it was 6 of us. And on that, after that first drive, Pete literally had a whole ham, like a smoked ham, and we're on the back of the tailgate of the truck, and it was freaking incredible. And I've been asking him for that ever since, and he's not provided. But like we're just with knives, just carving like hunks of ham off and just making these massive sandwiches. And it was fantastic. But now we don't even freaking stop for lunch. We just freaking hunt like 9 hours in the woods. That was a freaking long day today. That's one of the longest days. Like we didn't get picked up till dark. Usually we're back to the truck and having a couple beers before it's dark. It was late night today. Yeah, it was dark. I was getting scared. There's bears in them woods.
I was about to light another fire.
We're waiting for John, or trying to find John.
Yeah. Well, so
And then all of a sudden I look to my left, and there's John standing right next to me.
So
After
John-
like a half hour.
so John, John was our group organizer, and he was like, we're meeting at the bottom of the hill. That's where the trucks are going to be. Dallas is going to get a truck and come get us. So I'm like, okay. And then we get to the bottom of the hill, and I could have sworn I had seen John when we were walking out. I saw John before I saw you guys. Right. So but I didn't. I don't know. Wasn't expecting that. So there's no John. And then all of a sudden things start racing through my head. Like, okay, we have everybody here, which is great. But now if John's got diabetes, what if he has a freaking diabetes, whatever episode or something, and he's freaking keeled over up there? I don't want to walk back up the hill. I've already done it twice today. I don't want to do it again. Yeah, he'd be fine for the night, right? He had sick on. He had his
He
down
brings Snickers.
jacket.
He's got some Snickers
He needs to have
bars.
food
Yeah.
with him too. Yeah,
Just
that's
rub.
important.
He could rub the Snickers on his lips and wake him up. Isn't that what you do with people that got diabetes?
That's not
That
how it
was
works.
that was him to the T tonight. He always does. He does that every time.
What's that? Oh, he's
He's
just.
kinda-
Extends it to the
Yeah.
max.
Kind of like, I'm gonna hunt my way out.
Yeah, that's true. Remember a couple years ago when he got on that buck
yeah.
track and he just disappeared for like
Yeah.
6
Napping.
hours,
Bingo.
lost radio contact, and everybody's like, we have no idea where John is. But he showed up at the end, smoking a cigarette, chiefing it.
And we had Bush Light, so everybody was,
Yeah.
it was all good.
Yeah, I think there was a whole 30-pack of Busch Light gone in like 5 minutes. It was pretty. I laughed so hard I gave myself hiccups when we were sitting there because I went back to grab another beer and I'm like, this freaking box of beer is gone. This thing was brand new like 5 minutes ago. But I guess when you got 5 guys, it doesn't take long to make that go away. But yep. So tomorrow's another day. Do we have any other stories? Anybody you got anything, AJ? You haven't said anything.
No, I'm good.
No,
No
Michael.
stories.
What about your truck getting fixed?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
so
glad you brought that up. That was good.
I think somebody was messing with me. I didn't hit that. Huh? Tomorrow's grill night. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to grill. Yeah, put one in your pocket. Cook it overnight.
You think that got perfectly stuck in your truck, and it just
So
stayed
so
there?
where was it, Mike?
I was about to make a wiener comment. That would be great for tomorrow on the fire up at on the mountain, just like a roasted hot dog.
I'm on fire.
So it was between the steer tire and
Be
the
a lot of
fender.
weight either.
I know.
You could pack a couple of those
I'm gonna
in.
take a couple. I'm taking a couple.
So we're driving home last night, and my truck is making this god awful freaking grinding noise on the driver or the passenger front. And I'm like, Jesus, we were just over there, and Brad was busting my chops saying I needed to trade my truck in. And I'm like, one more freaking thing with this truck. I'm like, I'm going to have to get rid of this truck. I'm going to get home, Figure
How many beers did you had, Billy?
None. I was DD last night.
Okay, just checking.
I was DD, Danny. I have a career, buddy. Jesus. And this is grinding, We get back here. It's dark. It's cold, so I want to go to bed. We go to bed. And so we left my truck here today thinking it's out of commission. And then we get back. I'm like, well, let's take a drive over there and let's see if there's really something wrong with it or not. and Mike gets out and we start backing up and it's making the noise. And I'm like, it sounds like there's like a beer can or something dragging, So Mike gets out there and all of a sudden I just hear this like, and he pulls out one of those like snow markers that you put on the side of your driveway so like when you're plowing. And yeah, it was apparently that somebody must have been driving my truck yesterday and drove into that. I don't it wasn't me because I don't remember that.
Did you say it was metal?
No, it's plastic.
All right.
Thank God it's not metal.
I thought it was plastic.
Yeah, it's plastic.
I'm pretty sure it is metal. It was bent. Plastic would break.
You should have said, Billy, I'd trade this truck in if I were you.
It was metal, yes.
It's not metal.
It was
She just
metal.
said it's metal.
I told you.
Is it metal? It's
Yeah.
plastic.
It was bent. It was wrapped around.
You can bend plastic.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. To that point, that's kind of, irrelevant. Yeah, my truck's good to go now, so we can take her tomorrow. My truck? Oh, yeah, there's a serious exhaust leaks going on. Right? Like, you smell exhaust, right? Oh, yeah, for sure. When I start it up, usually when I drive it for a while, I get real sleepy and dizzy. But she's a good truck. She owes me nothing. And my personal mechanic over there in the corner.
Which one?
Trigger. Oh, yeah, Brad's slowly becoming my secondary mechanic. He helps me with the non-engine issues. Because I know with Brad, he'll end up trying to add more horsepower to it, and then my engine will blow up. So I don't really want him to get into that. Yeah. Trigger's going to tap my bolts and put some new head bolts in. So two of my head bolts are snapped off. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But 2 years ago when we were down here, you were mentioning how my idle was all over the place. Remember that? We were parked over by where he came out with his buck there last year. I got issues. The truck's got issues. But she's a runner. She's a strong runner. I love her. Old Black Betty. Bam Balam. Black Betty had a child. Damn thing gone wild.
What's you trying to get to 300?
300,000.
Where are you at right now?
230. It's gonna take me like 10 years to get 70,000 miles.
Not a chance.
No.
Oh, I'm gonna hit 300. I'm gonna be one of those guys.
Not a chance.
You know how long it's
My
gonna
goal-
take you to get to 300,000 miles?
A long time. I might even stop using my work vehicle for work and start driving this thing just to start putting miles back on it.
That sounds like a really good
I might even pay for fuel
Great
myself
idea.
just to get my mileage.
Great idea.
That when we were sitting there tonight at the trailhead, and Peter's truck. Were you standing there? That was pretty good. Pete's truck starts rolling. I think they put it in neutral.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Scary. We were all in between the trucks.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, his truck's rolling.
We couldn't tell if someone was in the truck or not.
And Pete hits the brakes, and Rob just starts laughing. And goes, I told him to do that.
No.
Or he told him to hit the horn.
Pete goes, it was Rob's idea.
Yeah. Those two.
Yeah.
You never know who's going to walk away from deer camp in love, and I think those two are
Listening to those two on the radio this afternoon was just
classic.
classic radio.
All right. We can wrap her up. We'll finish our sodas here, and tomorrow we're going to freaking whack, stack, and weed whack.
Well, don't short sell us.
Hack, stack, and
We're going to have a couple more sodas, I think.
yeah, no, we're going to have a couple more.
All right.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to be bound to the microphones.
Billy's
You guys,
Billy's
I just
not
want to say, pretty low energy tonight. I'm pretty frustrated with that. I feel after all the effort I put in today, I don't feel like I'm getting enough out of you guys.
I'm just taking
saying.
it all in. I'm really just appreciative of the camp. This is a great camp.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Thank you, Molly. That's
See?
very nice.
How comes when she says it, it's nice when I say that it's just
Because
whatever.
I think you've got alternative motives. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
A good thing you're not
That's all I
sitting
got-
next to the
that's what I
fire.
got to say about
That's all I got to
that.
say about that.
No wonder the fire's burning so
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right. Well, maybe we'll do an update tomorrow. Fade them. Hey, let's stack them tomorrow, all right?